So overall, fresh out of the box, I'm loving how this is feeling. I do love the softness of these fibers and the lightweight feel of them. I look like a little bug with like little antennas coming out of my head. This is lovely, by the way. People walking past you literally will have no idea you have a wig on. Hi everybody, welcome back to the Chiquel YouTube channel. My name is Amanda and today I'm going to be unboxing and showing you guys one of TressAllure's newest styles that they have. It's been out for, I don't know, a couple months now, but this is the first time I've tried it, to be honest, and it's Sizzle. So I'm really excited to unbox this with you and show it to you. But first, I'm going to remind you to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel where you can learn even more about alternative hair. Okay, so I don't know how I haven't tried Sizzle yet, but for some reason, I haven't tried Sizzle yet, but here it is in the flesh with me, and I have not opened this up yet. I have not put it on yet. I've gotten it in the mail, and this is it. So it is Sizzle. Where is it? Sizzle. And this is in the color 10R. So let's take it out of the box and see. One thing I've noticed about TressAllure's wigs is that I have not seen them come with a like a hairnet. You know how a lot of wigs come with that hairnet over top of it? This one does not. So this is it, brand new, fresh in the box. It comes with a little wig cap in here as well. So if you guys like wig caps, then there's one for you. It's all nestled nicely in here in the little bobby pins. But let's get it out of here. But no hairnet, just the way it is. Oh gosh, now we're stuck. Hold on, I gotta come down here and get this unstuck out of the bobby pin. There we go. Okay, here she is. I'm very excited to try this on. So like I said, this is in the color 10R. So what you're gonna notice about 10R is that it is just your standard light brunette. There's not a lot going on in it. You're gonna see a little bit of variation in color. There's almost like a tiny sprinkling ever so slightly with some, I don't know if it's like a cool blonde, just like random tiny pieces just to add a little bit of more of a natural look to it. So it's not just like one plain color. So you will see a little bit of variation, but overall you're gonna get this light brunette color. It is what I would say neutral leaning cool brunette. It's definitely not a warm brunette. Okay, let's take a look at this cap here. So we are gonna have a full monofilament top. So the monofilament is kind of like a plasticky lace-like material on the top here, where each fiber is hand sewn on. So all this part on top, it's hand sewn on. And when it's hand sewn on, that gives the fiber the ability to move in any direction it wants to. It gives a little bit more of a natural flow on the top. Plus it allows you to part it anywhere, and it gives you that natural illusion of growth right from your scalp where the part line is. So monofilament tops are awesome, especially for all of you ladies who part your hair on the right-hand side. For some reason, there's truly not a lot of right parted wigs out there. All the wigs are left parts or full monofilament tops. So if you are a right parted lady, these full monofilament tops are going to allow you to part it on the right-hand side. Okay, so that also goes into a lace front here. So the lace front extends into your ear tabs, which gives you a really nice transition from lace into your ear tab, and it melts really nicely in there. We do have velvet ear tabs, so it's nice and comfy cozy with, of course, your metal stays within the ear tab. So there's like, it's like a little metal rod there. And what it does is it allows you to have this glueless wig. So you don't necessarily need to use any tape or glue or adhesive of any kind to keep this wig down. The metal rod or the metal stay in there helps those ear tabs stay flush to your skin, flush to your temples, so they're not like flopping around all crazy. We also have that velvet extended nape here, and that velvet allows us to have these Velcro adjusters where you can adjust the circumference of your wig up to about ½ an inch bigger or smaller. Just note that the adjusters here, they only adjust the circumference. They don't adjust how much cap there is, if that makes sense. So if there's like too much cap, that would be something you would have to do yourself, like sewing wefts together to make the cap smaller. Let's see, did I go over everything? I think I did. I think I went over the whole cap. Now, you will find that the majority of wigs you get, they will typically come with a zigzag part. That just shows you that it is a new wig, fresh from the factory. It hasn't been worn or tampered with yet. Although in saying this, I have come across wigs, most notably some by Aesthetica, that do not come with a zigzag part, and I've always seen them come with a part line already created. But the majority of wigs you get do come with this zigzag part. Now, for all of my new wig wearers, I should let you know that if you are to take the zigzag part out of your wig and play around with your style, then that means you cannot return your wig if it's not a good fit or if the style doesn't work for you. So whenever you're getting a new wig and you're trying it on for the first time, keep that zigzag part intact. Make sure it fits you, make sure that color is right for you. Those are probably the two most important things, fit and color. And then the style. This is lovely, by the way. And for style, I would say that's sort of the last thing to look at, because a style is something you can work with. You know, you could straighten it, you could add curl to it, you could cut it, you could trim it, you can add bangs to it. So if the style is not quite working, but it's workable, just remember that wigs are meant to be played with and changed, and you're meant to sort of work with them so that they become more you. But anyways, I went on a little bit of a tangent there. All I wanted to say was just make sure that the zigzag part is still intact if you wanted to return the wig. Okay, so Sizzle here is made with TressAllure's Look Fabulous Realistic Light fibers. Now, these fibers are very lightweight, you guys. They are heat-friendly synthetic, so you can use heat on them, but they are 40% lighter weight than your typical synthetic that you might see on the market, which is amazing. And it is true, you guys. This is a very lightweight fiber. I really do love these fibers. You will find that right out of the box, they are going to feel very soft and of course, very lightweight. So overall, fresh out of the box, I'm loving how this is feeling. But just know that even though fresh out of the box, these fibers feel lovely, with heat-friendly synthetic fiber, pretty much any heat-friendly synthetic fiber, you're gonna find that they get frizzy and frazzly a little bit more quickly than your typical plain synthetic fiber. Now, it is said that TressAllure's Look Fabulous Realistic Light fibers tangle less, frizz less. However, that being said, I do have a few of the wigs made with this fiber, and I have found that over time they still tangle, they still frizz, they still need a heat treatment on them. Almost as quickly as any other heat-friendly fiber do, but I will say that I do love the softness of these fibers and the lightweight feel of them. So before I talk any more about the style, let me spin around for you. Okay, so if you guys love these longer styles, perhaps something like Mesmerized by Raquel Welch, Stella by Beltress, these longer sort of layered styles, you're gonna love Sizzle. And the lovely thing about Sizzle, at least for me, is that it doesn't have any permatease. So this is going to lay nice and low profile on your head. It's not gonna feel too poofy. You're not gonna feel it's too bulky, especially up in the crown and in the sides here. It's gonna lay nice and flat. It's also on the lower density side. I'm not gonna say it's like your lowest density, but I will say it is a pretty low density. And I can always tell, especially when you grab your ponytail, you know, there's not a ton of hair back there. So it is a nice low density, no permatease, layered style that is great for all of you long-haired ladies out there. All right, let's take a look at the lace front here. So I've mentioned this many times before, whenever you have a brunette or a darker colored fiber, the knotting is gonna be a little bit more evident. Now, TressAllure does a pretty good job at making these knots as small as they can. They're not big knots, but I mean, overall, if you look closely, like I'm coming right up here for you, you can tell the knotting is there. But I'm just gonna say this based on experience. You are the only person who is going to know that the knotting is there. Other people walking around, just, passing you by, even people you know, if you don't want them knowing you're wearing a wig, they're not gonna know because they don't know what they don't know, I've said that before, but they're not gonna know to look at your hairline. That's not where people's eyes go first, unless it's just a really bad wig and it just has a really bad hairline. But something like this is pretty darn good, in my opinion. I love how it's not too dense up the front here. And like I said, these knots are pretty small. And it's gonna gradually melt into the side of your ear tabs. So overall, this lace front is really quite lovely. But if you want an even less detectable knotting at your lace, then you would have to go for the blondes. But this is pretty good. People walking past you literally will have no idea you have a wig on. Okay, now we have a zigzag part here. If you are choosing to keep your wig, take that zigzag part out, please, because this zigzag part here doesn't allow the monofilament to reveal itself. It doesn't allow you to show the fact that it does have that natural looking part line here. When you have the zigzag part, you don't see the monofilament or you don't see the part line. But when you take that away, that's what allows you to have that natural looking scalp there. That gives you the idea that it's not a wig. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna get rid of the zigzag part. Now, because synthetic fibers, they've been trained to sit in that zigzag for a while and they don't really know which way they wanna go yet. So if you try to make your part, let me show you. I think I'm gonna do just slightly to the left part for me. When you try and make your part, sometimes you have fibers that want to come forward. See, like this one here, it doesn't necessarily want to go all the way to the side. It wants to flop forward a bit. So, and also you can kind of see how the hair here, it's definitely coming forward as opposed to sitting more side. I don't know if you can tell. So when it does something like that, you need to train your fibers to go where you want them to. So in order to do that, so again, this is a heat-friendly synthetic fiber, so you can use heat on it. So in order to train them, I spray with water right at my root. I don't want to get it like wet, but I will get it nice and damp right in the roots there. I'm gonna work it through in the roots because that's where I'll be working. So you're gonna get it a bit damp. Getting it damp is gonna help to set these fibers where you want them and allow the heat to kind of work its magic. So those fibers are now easier to work with when they're wet up at the root, and now adding heat will help set them where you want. So I'm gonna use my heat comb. I got this from Amazon. You can pretty much use any heat comb. There's a lot to choose from Amazon. This brand is Andis. I'm not sure if it is even existing on Amazon right now. I got it a while ago, but you can check it out. This one has a heat temperature gauge from 1 all the way to 20. I do not go up to 20. I honestly stick at 1. And 1 is pretty hot. Like it's already pretty hot. So I don't go past 1, to be honest with you. And what I do is I get up at the roots and I work the roots just pretty quickly. I don't linger too long. And I take them in the direction that I want so that they are not going to be coming forward. So I'm gonna put a little bit of heat onto the root. I don't wanna go all the way through the style right now because if you can see, there's a little bit of style going on. Like it's flipping this way, flipping that way. We have a little bit of styling happening. I don't wanna take that out. Heat will completely straighten your style out. I'm not ready for that yet. I want to keep that in there. So that's why I'm sticking right at the roots. Okay, so once I've done several strokes of heat right at the root, what I'm going to do is allow this to cool down by clipping the fibers to go back a little bit. And this is going to overtrain them so that when it cools, it's not going to want to fall forward as easily. So while that one cools down, I'm going to do this side, put some heat right at the roots, not going through the whole style, just through the roots rather quickly, not lingering too long. Now, you don't have to use a hot comb. You could use just a regular comb and a hair dryer if that works for you. You could use a blow dryer brush if that works for you too. You could use, you know, using a hair straightener at the roots. That's kind of tricky, to be honest, because hair straighteners are big and it might be hard to grab right at the root, because in order to train the fiber, you really do need to get right at the root, not like just beyond it. You have to get it at the root, because that is where the direction of the fiber is going to be changed. If you don't get right at the root, it's not going to change as well. So using a hair straightener might be a little tricky. So hot comb works well. A blow dryer works well with a comb or a hot air brush, just as long as that heat is getting right at the root to help change that direction. Okay, so I've clipped both sides. I look so silly right now. I look like a little bug with like little antennas coming out of my head. So I'm gonna let these cool for about 5 minutes or so. It doesn't need to be too long, but with heat-friendly synthetic and with plain synthetic fiber, if you want a style to stick and stay the way that you have trained it to, it has to cool set before you release it. So for example, if you're curling something with heat, you can't just let go and release it, because it's then just gonna go limp and not be a curl. You have to curl it, let it cool in that curl position and hold it there, or get one of those curling irons that blasts that cool air at it to help cool set it, and then you release it and then it will hold. So that's why we are letting this sit here for a few minutes to let all of that coolness set in the fiber. As this is cooling, I'm gonna talk about the cap size of this. So I would say that Sizzle is fitting very true to average. I am a petite size, as most of you know if you watch me. I measure 20.5 inches in circumference, 11.5 inches front to nape, and 11.5 inches ear to ear. This is a little bit big on me. However, I'm someone who wears a ton of average sizes, because I mean, that's where all of the styles are. Like, there's a lot of average sizes and not as many petite sizes as some of you might know. What I do, or what I would do for this one, I haven't done it yet, I would bring in the adjusters a little bit. And then I have a little bit of bulk in the rest of the cap, just because I have a little peanut head. So there's just a little bit of extra cap back here that I could pinch. And like I was saying earlier, if it's too big for you in the cap and you don't like that, you want it to fit more like a glove, you could take some of those wefts and sew them together. And there should be several videos on YouTube that you can find that show you how to make a cap size, or a wefted cap size, smaller. And now that I just said a wefted cap, I realized that I never truly went over the fact that this is an open wefted cap. I know I showed you, but I never specifically said that. So I'm gonna take this off and just mention that this cap here is what we refer to as open wefted. So all of these rows of fiber that you see here, those are the wefts. Wefts are when you sew rows of hair with a machine and you kind of put it all together to make this wig. They're breathable, so you can stick your fingers through it, nice and ventilated, but it differs from a hand-tied cap where all the cap would be hand sewn by a person. I know I was mentioning that this area up here was hand tied onto the monofilament and the lace, but the rest of the cap over here is a wefted cap that is made by a machine. You'll find these caps are nice and stretchy though. I'm gonna try to turn this inside out with these clips in there. These caps are nice and stretchy, which is really great for many people. And then, like I said, they're ventilated and breathable, which they are typically a little bit better for hotter weather or hotter climate. Okay, I'm gonna put this back on and take out the clips now. It's been about 5 minutes in real time here. So we'll take that out. And now you'll notice how the fibers aren't coming forward. So remember how during the beginning of this video, it's not like the fibers were truly face flopping, but they were definitely coming forward like a V shape there. So I don't like when that happens. So it's nice now that they are going sideways. They are set there. The heat from my hot comb and then the cool set after is going to allow these fibers to stay this way even after I go and I wash it. So as soon as you add heat to your fiber, it changes it forever and you can't go back to what it was before that. Now, when I was talking about the layered style of this earlier, what I didn't show you specifically were these shorter fibers up at front. There's not a ton of them. Like there's not enough to bring forward and like call it necessarily a bang, but they are shorter layers right in the front. However, if you wanted to make bangs out of this, it is super easy. Just bring that fiber forward, put some heat at your root to direct it to come forward, and you can cut a bang into this easy peasy. But I just wanted to make sure you guys saw that there are these shorter layers up front. And then the next longer layer isn't until like these ones down here, really. So just wanted to make sure you saw that. All right, you guys, hopefully this was helpful in determining whether or not Sizzle is the right one for you. I'm really excited about this one. And you know, what I think I might do is wear this for 10 days or so, probably not consecutively, but I'll try and mark down 10 wears. And once I've done that, I'm gonna come back to you guys and show you what Sizzle looks like without any heat treatment, without any washing, and without anything other than just your typical combing that might happen to remove some tangles. And I'll kind of give you an update on her to see how she wears over time. Okay, with that though, I'm gonna go. Let me know in the comments what you think of her, or if you have any questions at all that I can answer for you. And I will see you next time. Bye, everybody.